This is for secondary literature students. We have already started with elegy written in a country churchyard. Today we will be taking from sixth stanza onwards. For them no more the blazing hearth shall burn. For them, for the forefathers who are lying in the grave, who are no more. Never, no more, never blazing hearth shall burn. Means they will not come back to enjoy the burning fire in the hearth, because they are no more, so they are not going to enjoy food or the life, because they have gone for eternal sleep. Busy, active, engaged in the household work. Housewife, the wives of these people, these forefathers who are lying buried in the grave, ply her evening care. The wives, when the husbands come back, they apply themselves to their household duties, making things comfortable for husbands. But because the husbands are no more, they are already dead, so now they will be free from evening care which they used to take from their husband, for their husbands, in order to make them comfortable. Lisp, to utter in broken accents. The children, when their parents, when their fathers used to come back from the fields, they used to, kiss them, kiss their fathers. And there was a kind of a competition between the siblings who will kiss the father first. So no children run to lisp their sire's return. In broken accent, children, when they see their fathers coming from the village, they run to their mothers, announcing the return of their fathers, or climb his knees the envied kiss to share. And they, climb the knees of their fathers in order to, kiss them. And there was a kind of an envy among the siblings, that who was able to kiss the father first. There was a kind of a sharing, and then there was a kind of a competition among the siblings, who is going to kiss the father first. Often did the harvest to their sickle yield. Now this is the seventh stanza. They used to, these forefathers who are lying buried in their graves, they really worked hard when they were alive. Oft means often. So very often, what did the harvest yield? The rustics, these poor village people, the innocent village people, they used to reap crops with their sickle, and the crops yielded to the sickle of the villagers. They are so sturdy that even the sickle yielded to the stroke of these villagers. Furrow. A furrow is a trench made by a plow, and is here used in the sense of a plow. Stubborn glebe, hard ground or hard soil. The word glebe is used in its Latin sense, where globe means ground. Has broken means has broken. Jocund happily. Team of horses. Two or more horses were used in plowing the land. A field to the field. Woods here mean trees. Sturdy stroke, heavy stroke or blows of the axes, because these villagers, the farmers, they are very sturdy. So then when they make a stroke, it is very sturdy. So the off did the harvest to their sickle yield, their furrow of the stubborn glebe has broke. How jocund did they drive their team afield, how bowed the woods beneath their sturdy stroke. So in these lines, the poet, is praising those farmers who are lying buried in the graves of the churchyard. In this and the previous stanza, he has described an ordinary villager's family and working life. The farmers, when they were alive, worked hard in their fields. They reaped crops and felled the trees by heavy strokes of their axes. The poet says that the poor villagers who lie buried in the churchyard worked very hard on their fields. They reaped their crops by their sickle very often. They often plowed over the land in a very happy and cheerful mood. They drove the pair of oxes or horses on the field to plow it, and they made the trees fall down by the heavy stroke of their axes. So in this stanza, the first one, the previous one, and the this one, he is describing, the poet is describing the uh, the thing, that how strong they used to be, and how, hard work they used to do on their fields. And even when they did hard work, they, felt very happy. They were not, they had no complaint over their fate, that they had to work so much hard. And because they are very powerful, physically very strong, so even the trees bowed when they made the sturdy, the, strong stroke, when they blew the strong stroke. Let not ambition here, it means ambitious person. Ambitious person, it is a figure of speech in which abstract is used for the concrete. This figure is known as synecdoche. Abstract person means abstract personification. What the poet means to say is ambitious people. Let ambition means ambitious people mock their useful toil. So whatever hard work they used to perform, they used to do, these people, these forefathers who are lying buried in the grave, and whatever, hard work they used to do in their fields, he says those people who are very ambitious, they should not make fun of the useful works done by these farmers, because whatever work they did, it without the hard work of these farmers, our life would not have been what it is, because it is because of their hard work that we get everything, the food and other things that we get. So he says that let ambition not mock their useful toil. Whatever these people, their hard work they did on the uh, fields, it is so useful for the entire human being, for the entire humankind, that all the ambitious people, they should not mock means to make fun of, they should not make fun of their hard work, the toil which is so useful for the entire mankind. Their homely joys. So homely, mock is to make fun of, to laugh at. Homely, ordinary joys of the simple life, or ordinary joys of the simple life, joys of the plain and simple kind. Destiny, fate. Destiny is fate. Obscure, unknown. Obscure, unknown. So their lot, their destiny remain unknown to the world. Let not ambition mock their useful toil, their homely joys and destiny obscure, not nor grandeur. Here with a disdainful smile, the short and simple annals of the poor. Grandeur, person who live in pomp and show, so who live in great luxury and with all the pomp and show. An example of again abstract used for concrete. Uh, so when the poet says nor grandeur, means people having a life of you know pomp and show, they should not also make fun of these poor people. The short and simple annals of these poor people. Disdainful, contemptuous, to make fun of, contemptuous, disdainful, contemptuous. Annals, stories. Annals means stories of the lives of these poor people. They should not make fun of these poor people, neither the ambitious people nor the people who are leading a life full of luxury. They should not make fun, or those who have done something uh, they are proud of, they should not make fun of these poor people. The poet again says, again I am repeating, the poet says that the ambitious and wealthy people should not make fun of the simple and humble life of the villagers. They should instead acknowledge their valuable services. They should understand the services that they have been doing are so valuable for the mankind. They work hard and shed their perspiration in the fields of corn to feed the whole community. So the richer people should not laugh at the simple pastimes and delights of these villagers. They should not despise them or hate them or make fun of them. These people who are ambitious, who are rich, they should not make fun of these poor people because of their unknown and uneventful lives. The great and the grand have no right to smile contemptuously at the short and simple life stories of these poor people. Whatever they have done, it is so useful for the mankind, and those people who are so called live great and grand life, they should not make fun of the short and simple life of these poor people. the the boast of heraldry, the pomp of power, and all that beauty, all that wealth ever gave awaits alike the inevitable hour. The paths of glory lead but to the grave. These lines are very important. Says whatever you have done in your life, whether the boast of heraldry, to boast, to make to talk great about being born in a high family, that I am born in a high family, to be proud of it. The pomp of power, the splendor and magnificence belonging to the people who enjoy great power in the world. All that beauty, the personal influence of beauty, all that wealth ever gave, all the benefits which are conferred upon a man by his wealth awaits are. This is very important. He says that the person who were born in great families or in rich families, or who have led a life of magnificence, but all of us, whether we are poor, whether we are rich, whether we have led magnificent life, all of each one of us has to face this inevitable hour. The inevitable hour refers to the hour of death, which waits all the great, the beautiful, and the wealthy. Death levels everything and everybody. The the path of glory leads. Now, gray means that whatever way to fame we select, the end is the same. Whatever we have done in our life, but the ultimate truth of life is that it ends in death. So, the path of glory, gray, all those people who seek wealth, fame, etc. in the world are destined to die. Death is the ultimate end of human life for all. So this is, in these lines, he this these lines are, very important, and they have, universal value. The whether he said it long ago or today, it is the same. The truth remains the same, that each one of us, will ultimately go to this eternal sleep, which is death. And then there is no difference between rich and poor, high and low, known and unknown, great and small in the eyes of death. Nothing can save man from the hands of death. All the persons who won fame or glory in different walks of life will certainly die one day. Even the entire wealth of the world cannot make us immortal. So, no one has any right to mock at the simple and uneventful life of these farmers. The rich as well as the poor, the powerful as well as the humble, all will die one day. And so there's no, we should not make, fun of these people who, though they could not get the opportunity to prove their, to bring out, to manifest their talent, but whatever they have done, the toil and the hard work, that was also that was also same, that have the same valuable, value, that these people who consider themselves to be great, their work is not, greater than the work of these poor people. Thank you.